We're here at Space 2008 with Space organizer Bob Corby and the Day Prize presenter Dave Sim. Bob, what do you have to say about this year's Space?
What do I have to say? I'm just glad. It seems like we had a bit more people in the door this year, so
Sure.
that's always encouraging. Incredible amount of creativeness out there. A lot of incredible looking books. So I'm actually gonna spend some time tomorrow buying some stuff. So I can't wait to get into that. So yeah, I think we've moved on from last year as usual. This is our 9th show, and it's just improved every year. So.
Sure, it seems like there's quite a lot of variety when I walk up and down the aisles this year.
Right. Like I said, there's all kind of things here that you're never going to see in a comic shop.
Sure. Anything new this year in terms of the format or the presentations?
No, we pretty much stuck with what we were doing in the last 2 years or so. We have panels going on pretty much continuously Saturday and Sunday. The only real exception was Judenhass with having an exhibit on display in the room. That was kind of a new thing that we haven't tried before. But
that's Dave Sim's new comic?
That was Dave Sim's new comic, which I think did great for bringing people in to see it.
You think you might try that again with some other creator next year?
Sure. I mean, somebody's got a hot project that they want to kind of do some, pre-sale exhibiting kind of thing. We can work that out.
That sounds great. Dave, the Day Prize nominees this year, what'd you think of them?
Well, it's always a difficult process of elimination, and it's always comparing apples and oranges. It's very difficult to compare a mini comic to a graphic novel, but at the same time, there's always a good half dozen absolutely outstanding examples that every time that I'm going through the submissions, these are the ones that keep cropping up and sticking in my mind. That's a lot of it. Is I skim through all of them when the box first comes in, and usually that's the first good sign. Is the one that I just can't wait to. It's in the pile here somewhere. I remember seeing that the first time through, and I can't wait to see it again. One step at a time. We're starting to get this space thing figured out. This was the first year with the Day Prize that we weren't unwrapping the plaques for 15 minutes before the ceremony, because I shipped them down and they're wrapped in newspaper and they got plastic on them. And this time I said to Bob, as soon as I walked in the door, where are the Day Prizes? Let's get them unwrapped right now. And that only took us 7 years?
Yep, that took
6
a while.
years.
Yep.
6 years to get to the point of unwrapping the Day Prizes.
6 times the charm, they say.
Not 6 times.
On the other hand, it was the latest you ever received the box filled with Day Prize.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I kind of almost fell asleep on that one this year.
So that's the secret. Last minute pressure breeds efficiency.
Energy.
It's a lot of work reading 100 comic books, 140 comic books. So I'm not usually the one phoning Bob going, hey, where's those Day Prize submissions? I can't wait to get started. But
he's just using me as an excuse.
As an excuse, there's no question about that. Well, you're sitting right here. What the heck? Who else am I going to use for an excuse, Lenny? But I have to say, the Day Prize box will often sit there for a week or a week and a half while I'm clearing the decks on other things. But when I do finally get to open it up, it's just like a kid on Christmas. It's the same as going into the newsstand when I was a kid growing up in the 1960s on the day the new comics come in. They're wrapped up in the bundle with all of the other magazines, and you're sort of peeking to see if the new detective comics came in. I think that's the Fantastic Four. I think that came in this Tuesday. And in this case, I'm the one who gets to unwrap the bundle and pull them out, look at each one, start sorting them into different piles of the different sized. Here's the digest ones. Here's the comics. Here's the graphic novels. And then I got plenty of good reading every night before I go to bed for a good 2 months or so.
2 months. How many? You said you had 100 to 140, was it?
I think there was about 140 last year.
Somewhere around there.
Has that been increasing? I mean,
it had been increasing. I think this last year might have been pretty much the same as the year before.
Yeah, it's a little different because with Kablam and Comics Press coming along, there's far more comic books that actually look like comic books. The first 3 or 4 years, there was such a variety of packaging, if nothing else. I got one comic book that was actually, I think, 10 mini comics wrapped in a lunch bag.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a barf bag from an airplane, and this was the guy's packaging.
Sounds like a Ben Steckler.
It was probably Ben. It was probably Ben. If it wasn't him, it was only because he didn't think of it first.
Right.
Great.
Any new ideas you guys have been talking about for features to add to Space maybe next year or something? I mean, you had the new Junior Day Prize this year. I just wonder if there's any other things you think of maybe instituting next year.
No, they usually happen as we're going along, and I think Bob and I are both on the same page in terms of trying to keep everything a manageable size. Every time you add something in, you're...
And basically what happens with Space, I start pleading earlier in the year with people who wants to host a panel and what do you want to do it about, and let's give it some time, let's find some people to join that panel and throw ideas around, and pretty much we do it the last month or so and it gets thrown together, and it worked out pretty well. I mean, it always seems to come out for somehow.
Always seems to pull
you
together.
never know exactly what's going to be here.
How did the idea of the Junior Day Prize come about this year?
Really just the fact that there was Zach's and Maddie's books in the pile.
Okay.
And, you do look at it and go, holy smokes, I'm not sure about this one. And then you go, okay, age 6. I think, yeah, we can make some concessions on that one. And it's adorable for one thing. There's not a lot of adorable at comic book conventions. So the Adventures of Marky.
I do some cute bunny stuff. So.
You think it's cute. Kathy tells you it's cute. Ask Megan. How cute is this? She'll give you an honest answer. But yeah, the Adventures of Marky. Mine was even autographed by Maddie. And it's very funny looking at, didn't get the A right, and just sort of fixed it with the pen. They'll just put a little bridge across the top there. And I'm going, Muddy. This comic book's by Muddy? And I went, oh, Madison Shires. Maddie. Okay.
It's just further evidence of her artistic caliber.
Yeah.
She can take it to lettering.
I
heard people win awards for lettering.
That's... Those aren't real awards.
I think Bob already hit us up.
I wish we could have gave him this award, but we'll give him the lettering.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think Bob already hit us up for doing a live Cerebus next year for a panel.
Oh yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Holy smokes!
I embarrassed myself doing my own stuff, so it's time.
There's no embarrassing this. Julius over here, he's a killer.
Yeah.
Give us a little
we could do that. It's like,
yeah.
What are you getting self-conscious? You're on YouTube for crying out loud.
Exactly.
Now you're worried about playing to a room of 20 people. It's
that's what they can throw stuff at you.
That's right. Live, there's actually.
Well, that's right. For everything they throw, I take off a piece of clothing. It'll stop really quick.
Oh, okay. You'll take off a piece of clothing, then stop even quicker. That was cruel.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I withdraw that remark.
Okay. Otherwise, Dave, what about the reaction to Judenhass? What kind of feedback have you been getting to the art you've had on display?
Very good. Very good. It was all I could do to keep from turning around to see people looking at it, but because we had it sectioned off, it was like trying to see what somebody's doing in a voting booth. Even when you turned around, it's just a pair of legs. standing in front of the pages, but everybody seemed very enthusiastic about it. There were a lot more people actually sitting and reading the 4 copies that I had out. I was hoping that would happen, and definitely we had the table against the wall with the chairs facing the wall. It's really time to face what kind of a medium that we have. The only way to read a comic book properly is to withdraw completely from the world. So even though it looks funny to have chairs facing a wall, that's a way of getting away for 20 minutes, 22 minutes, however long it's going to take you to read it. And I was hopeful we could maybe bring some new people through the door just to see the Judenhass pages. Mm-hmm. It's the first I heard from Bob that actually happened. So
be interesting to see what happens tomorrow if a little word of mouth gets out.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, I thank you guys.
Right.
It looks like another great space, and I'm looking forward to some more Day Prize reading. And thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks.